What is the best meal plan to lose fat faster? In the event that you've observed any of my past nourishment recordings or even endeavored your very own eating routine, at that point you're most likely mindful of the idea that toward the day's end, for weight reduction, it's everything about calories in versus calories out. For whatever length of time that you're eating at a calorie deficiency and in a perfect world, having enough protein too, at that point you're going to effectively get thinner and strip off fat, paying little mind to what and when you eat. Presently, to say it precisely, and it is the fundamental law of thermodynamics. And this video will experience 3 trades that you want to make your eating regimen that represents those factors and can empower you to lose fat quicker, and afterward, I'll give you an example feast plan that assembles this for you. The first step you need to make with your eating regimen is to stick them for the most part with nourishments that have been negligibly prepared. For example, oat and white bread, that have been deprived of the majority of their significant supplements and fiber. And one of the special fatless advantages of natural nourishments is that as a rule, our body consumes essentially a bigger number of calories while processing natural nourishments than it does when contrasted with their procedure partners. For example, one said contrasted the caloric consumption required with the process and used to negligibly handled sandwiches comprising of entire grain bread and genuine cheddar versus 2 exceptionally prepared sandwiches and rather comprised of white bread and prepared cheddar. Although the 2 dinners comprised of for all intents and purposes a similar measure of allowed calories and protein, the more handled sandwich had a half lower thermic impact, and thus, the body consumes essentially less calories processing it than it did with the entire grain sandwiches. What they discovered is that the gathering that stayed with entire grain nourishments copy on normal around 100 additional calories for every day just from processing and use in their food than the handled nutritional category that sort of put this into point of view, and given that the normal individual copies approximately 100 calories to run a mile, you'd basically be doing what might be compared to running an additional mile daily just by deciding to consolidate entire grain, less prepared nourishments instead of more handled nourishments for the majority of your dinners. Since while yes, again your absolute everyday calorie admission is the thing that issues most for fat misfortune. Things being what they are, the way wherein you circulate these calories for the duration of the day is by all accounts more significant than we recently have been persuaded. Representing this is an ongoing 2020 paper and another correspondingly structured 2015 paper that thought about the impacts of utilizing a more front-significant circulation approach by distributing more calories to breakfast, versus a back-overwhelming methodology by apportioning more calories to supper rather. What the specialists discovered is that subjects utilizing the front-substantial methodology not just experienced altogether less appetite, and essentially less desires for desserts for the duration of the day, however they likewise experience more prominent by and large vitality levels, implying that they had the option to stick to the eating regimen all the more effectively, and they likely copy more calories for the duration of the day from agonizing, strolling, and simply moving more by and large in view of their expanded vitality. So to begin, we'll be allotting a large portion of the calories towards breakfast with protein hotcakes made totally of profoundly satisfying insignificantly prepared nourishments for these first Monday oats to make an oat flour, and afterwards you need to include the remainder of the fixings into mix. At that point basically cook them over container and top them with peanut butter, sugar-free syrup, sautéed apples or whatever you like. And if you do the math, more than a quarter of a year, this basic change would hypothetically empower you to consume 2.5 pounds more fat just by doing that switch. Next, how about we jump into how you at that point approach appropriating your dinners for the duration of the day. For lunch, we'll be tightening the calorie marginally yet at the same time staying with satisfying natural nourishments with heated salmon, bubbled potatoes and a side of sautéed asparagus. At that point, to prop you up until supper, you can have an orange icon even arrangement in a protein shake, also relying upon what your exercise is. And afterward for supper we'll keep tightening the calories somewhat with prepared chicken breast and a side of veggies, broiled. That after supper, to help fulfill whatever sweet longings may have rise up, we'll make a straightforward high-protein Greek yogurt parfait comprising of 0% fat plain Greek yogurt blended in with cinnamon and stevia for pleasantness, and afterward top with solidified blended berries and a tablespoon of chia seeds. Very simple to make it incredibly fulfilling. So ideally the dinner plan gives you somewhat more understanding into how you can begin arranging your suppers dependent on what I experienced, while as yet keeping everything delectable and fulfilling. What's more, simply remember that every one of those, a portion of the trades I referenced here, can help accelerate the fat loss process. Simply realize that by the day's end, sticking to a calorie shortage is what's generally significant. So try different things with your eating routine and stick to what you discover works best for you and your way of life. What's more, for an across-the-board bit-by-bit program that streamlines your week-after-week exercises for you, yet additionally tells you the best way to structure and set up your eating routine with the correct nourishments and in the perfect sum so you can consume fat as effectively and as conceivable with science. Furthermore, just head on over to Bill with Science Command, take the examination test to find which program is best for you and where your body is as of now at. At any rate folks, that is it for now. If you found this information useful, give it a like. Leave a comment down below as to where you'd like to see me cover next. Subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for the channel as well, as this all really does help me out. Thank you for watching.